Money. We can't get enough, yet we always want more. Some make money work for them, while most work for money. One can be a janitor who saved wisely and now has millions. Another can be a finance expert who lost everything by spending too much. Being good with money has little to do with how smart you are and a lot to do with how you behave. This video was inspired by Morgan Housel's best-selling book, The Psychology of Money. Let's explore how to have a better relationship with money and make smarter financial decisions. Know your money fingerprint. Imagine growing up in a family that highly values education. Your parents saved money for your college, and they see education, like becoming a lawyer or a doctor, as a path to success. So, you might also value education and consider it a good investment in your future. Now, think about someone who grew up in a place where job opportunities are scarce. Their experiences might lead them to see entrepreneurship as a way to make a living. They learn to be resourceful and business-minded. Similarly, your perception of the stock market often depends on when you were born. For example, if you were born in 1970, you saw the stock market do really well when you were young, so you might like investing. But if you were born in 1950, the stock market didn't do much during your youth, so you might not be into investing. The point is that most people don't make money decisions just based on numbers. They make them at the dinner table or during meetings, mixing personal history and their view of the world. Your money beliefs are like a fingerprint. They are totally unique to you. What seems strange to one person might make sense to another. In Morgan Housel's words, people do some crazy things with money, but no one is crazy. So we shouldn't judge others or ourselves too harshly for how we manage money. Focus on patterns. In life, luck and risk are both real and impact our outcomes. They're like two sides of a coin. While we can control some things, many external factors remain unpredictable. Success often blends talent, luck, and at times, unfair advantages. Don't assume everything is solely due to your efforts and choices. Consider Bill Gates. In 1968, there were 300 million high school students globally. Just 300 got into Lakeside, a special school in Seattle with a rare advanced computer. Bill Gates was one of those lucky Lakeside students, and this computer changed his life. He later co-founded Microsoft with a schoolmate, Paul Allen. Lakeside gave Gates a special advantage. He was smart, but luck also played its part. Magazines like Forbes don't celebrate people who made good decisions, but had bad luck. They celebrate people who took risks and got lucky. This is dangerous because we all want to learn how to manage money and be successful. It's hard to tell the difference between luck, skill, and risk. So, be careful who you admire or criticize. The point here is not to focus too much on specific individuals like Bill Gates and what they did to get rich. Instead, it's better to focus on common patterns of success and failure that you can apply to your own life. Know when to stop. Imagine John. He's a lawyer with a big house, fancy cars, and lots of money saved. But there's a problem. He's always working, never home with his family. As days go by, his family becomes distant. His constant chase for more makes his marriage fall apart, and they end up getting divorced. So here's the big question. Why do people like John, who seem to have everything, always want more? The answer often lies in our desire to compare ourselves with others, especially regarding wealth. For example, when John sees other lawyers with larger houses and fancier cars, he feels the urge to have the same. This comparison can become a never-ending cycle, similar to playing a game where you can never truly win, much like a Las Vegas casino. The lesson is, we shouldn't risk things we already have, like happiness, love, and family, just for things we don't really need. If you have enough money for what you need and want, there's no need to keep chasing more and taking big risks. It's important to set realistic goals and resist the temptation for more. Buy your freedom. People may think more money will make them happier, yet the concept of happiness is different for everyone. But there's something everyone agrees on. Being in charge of your life brings happiness. It's not about how much you earn, your big house, or your job title. It's about controlling your own life. Picture being free to choose what, when, and who you spend time with. That's real wealth. This is where money is powerful. It lets you control your life and time. For example, you can take sick days or explore new career opportunities without worry. It also means you can retire when you're ready, not forced to. Investing money and time is smarter than buying fancy things like cars or expensive watches. Look around for a moment. You might see rich people who don't have time to enjoy their wealth. Ask yourself, what's my main goal? Do you want money to buy things, or do you want money to buy your freedom? It's a choice. Work without breaks to fund a fancy life, or work smartly to get your time back. Spend less, save more. Imagine we both have the same amount of money. Let's say you're really good at making your money grow faster through investing. But here's the thing. I'm happy with less, while you spend more as you earn more. Surprisingly, in this situation, I'm actually better off, even if I'm not as good at investing as you. Once you've got what you need, spending more is often about showing off or boosting your ego. After covering the essentials, it's vital to think about your wants versus your needs. That's how you save more. To save and build wealth, it's smarter to care less about impressing others and embrace humility. The world has changed a lot. In the old days, people didn't have phones or easy ways to connect with others far away. They mainly competed with people in their town. So, if you were just okay at something, you could be a star in your small town, like a big fish in a little pond. But now, things are different. The world has turned into a massive neighborhood with billions of talented people, all on the hunt for opportunities. Just being smart isn't enough anymore. How can you stand out in this big pool of talent? What really makes you different is being flexible. Your real advantage is learning, being patient, and not rushing into things. Having control over your time and choices is very valuable today. That's why saving money is important. It gives you the freedom to choose and stand out in a world where being smart isn't enough. And the good news, you don't need a big salary to become wealthy. It's not just about how much you earn, it's all about how much you save. You will change. Think about being 5 years old, playing everywhere, and dreaming big. Many dreams start small, like wanting to drive a tractor, but things change as years go by. You might dream of becoming a lawyer, thinking you figured out your whole life. You study hard for it, but life is tricky. Challenges, long hours, and missing family time can make you rethink. You might switch to a different job that pays less, but lets you be with your loved ones more. Then, new problems. Childcare costs take a chunk out of your pay, and staying home with kids seems best. But when you reach 70, you might realize staying home didn't prepare you for retirement. Many of us face these career twists. So, what's the lesson? Planning for the long term is important, but life is unpredictable. Sometimes, you don't know what you'll want in the future. Psychologists call this the end of history illusion, where we don't realize how much will change later. Many people stay miserable in their jobs because they're committed to choices made when they were much younger. So, instead of planning for one fixed career, think of your life in 4 distinct 20-year blocks, allowing for change along the way. Life brings surprises, and your goals will change. Stay flexible, open to change, and remember, the journey is as important as the destination. That's all! If you liked this video, please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. See you in the next video!